Hi, I'm Tawny from mingledelements.com. Today I wanted to make a video demonstrating some different glazing techniques. I've glazed quite a bit of furniture around our house, and I've also done our kitchen cabinets here. Mostly I use a technique where you just apply glaze and thin it out, but I'm going to show you that technique and another technique which is also very popular, applying glaze and then wiping it off. I'm going to start with the first technique is going to be applying the glaze. And all I do is I have my glaze mix all ready. This glaze is mixed with 1 gallon glazing medium. There are a lot of different glazing mediums on the market. This is just one I got from Home Depot. It's Behr's brand. It's mixed with 1 cup of just regular latex paint. The instructions for the glazing medium say that you should mix it 4 to 1. So 4 cups glaze to 1 cup of paint. But I find that's a little too thick. So you can see I'm just kind of slopping it on, working it in. You got to really work it into these little nooks and crannies, because that is what you want when you are finished. That's what makes it look aged and pretty. I'm just about done. You want to keep going over and over until it's all nice and even. You want it to settle into some of the cracks in the wood. Alright. If it gets a little dry, just take a rag and you can just get it slightly damp. If you don't like your results, just wipe it off. I think that was a little tacky on this part, so I'm going to wipe it off and start again. But I'm pretty happy with it on the edges. And you can see that the glaze doesn't really change the color of your paint very much. It just adds a little depth and dimension and a little bit of that aging that everyone really loves. You know, so you can take a piece you find on Craigslist, like a dresser or something you find in a thrift store, give it a coat of paint. I really like Behr's paint. That's what this is here. It's 2 coats of Behr's Ultra Premium paint with the primer built in. So you can just take a piece you find, or maybe even an old piece you have around the house that you don't like anymore, and give it a coat of paint, coat of glaze, and you have something that looks like it came out of a high-end boutique. Oops. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. Let me just... A lot of ladies like a really sloppy looking... Well, I shouldn't say sloppy. It's not my cup of tea. I like it where it's not quite as rustic. Alright, that's rustic enough. And you can, I get a little artist brush, and you can do this while it's still wet. You can wait for it to dry, and then I just lightly put extra glaze where it would normally collect, but it's not quite as heavy because I've been working it in. And if you get a little too much on, you know, just wipe it off. It's still going to look really good. And then get a little extra in these grooves. That's what I've done on these kitchen cabinets. I'm not going to do the whole piece right now. But let me show you the corners. Just lightly take your brush and get it right on there. Smudge a little bit, just wipe it with your finger. And you could even, I've done before, let me get this corner a little bit, and lightly go like that. Let me get my rag. You can wipe it. You get do-overs with the glaze. It's pretty forgiving. There. You know, and it doesn't have to be perfect. That's kind of the whole point. Alright. And then don't forget to get every little edge like that. And okay, now I'm going to switch over to the technique that most people use. Okay, now I'm going to show you the second technique. This is actually a little more popular technique, and you want to load your brush up quite a bit for this technique, because what you want to do is just slap the glaze on, and you have to work pretty quick. It dries really fast. The glazing medium is really good at allowing you the time to get everything on the way you want it to before it dries. But you still have to be pretty quick. So I'm just slapping this on because you're going to wipe most of it off. So just get it real gloppy. But do make sure you get it into all, really jam it in there. Get it into all the little nooks and crannies everywhere, because that's where the glaze is going to stick when you wipe it off. Okay, so that's covered pretty well now. I've just got a wet painter's rag, and I want a fairly flat surface to wipe off. And you just wipe it off. Change your rag, because you want it to take the glaze off. If you don't change it around, you're just going to add more on. On these parts here that are grooved, go lightly. On these flat surfaces, you can take any more off. Take as much off as you want, but lightly go over those parts. It's a good idea before you start to have 2 slightly wet painter's rags. Alright, I think that's about good. Just go back over the parts. This technique, I don't use the artist brush like in the last, because you leave a lot of the glaze in the little nooks and crannies. A good idea before you actually start on your cabinets or your furniture is to get little artist boards. They sell these at craft stores, artist supply stores, and paint them your color, your base color. This base color is Benjamin Moore. It's camouflage. I just went to Home Depot and had them mix up the formula in the Ultra Premium. So paint your artist board first and then practice with your glaze before you actually commit to your furniture. I think I'll get this corner a little bit more. But you can sort of see the difference. I like it a little heavier, a little more rustic and worn, but a lot of people like it like this, so it looks like it could be something in your grandma's house. But it's up to you. Like I said, practice, hold your practice board up in your house and see what you like better. Okay, we've got our finished project now. I just wanted to show one more technique. This side I did heavy-handed with a lot of streaking. Most people really like this look because it looks like it's genuinely aged. But if you want a little lighter, like this side, remember at this side I just took most of the glaze off with a wet rag. This side I just worked the glaze in with the brush. But if you want a little lighter look like this, or if you mess up, all you have to do is take your sandpaper and lightly sand so you have a more feathered look. Alright, and then just take a tack cloth after you're done sanding, wipe it clean, and you can apply your polyurethane. I like this Wipe On Poly. It's really easy to use. All you have to do is get a lint-free rag. I'm not really going to do it, but you just apply it. Let it dry according to the directions. When it's done, give it a light sanding. Again, hit it with your tack cloth and get all the little particles off, and then apply at least one more coat. 3 coats I would recommend if it's a kitchen or bathroom cabinet you're glazing. If it's a wall, just leave it. You don't need poly. And I think that's it. Thanks for tuning in.